What is good everybody? So today we're going to be looking and diving deep into trading psychology. Some of these concepts might be basic, some of these concepts are going to be really good for you to hear again, kind of get you back in the game properly, because sometimes it's the simplest things in trading which we need to focus on, which we avoid. That's what's going to make us profitable, correct? So the number one thing we're going to talk about here today is controlling emotions. We have to be able to control our emotions, because if we can't control our emotions, what essentially we're going to be is a feather in the wind in the market. The market can play with us anyhow it wants, because this is going to lead us to experiencing feelings like fear, greed, impatience, and that's a trifecta already right there for self-sabotage. So when you come onto the charts, and let's say, for example, let's tackle fear, right? This is a big one too. Because with fear, what typically happens is we don't execute on the plan or the trade that we need to execute on because we're fearful of it. And usually what you're gonna see in the market most times it's actually the risky trades, which are the profitable trades. And it's the ones which are really obvious sometimes, which are not the greatest trades, because the market operates based off fear. It wants you to be fearful to not take the trades that you should be taking, and it's gonna play with your emotions because it's really good at psychological work, correct? It might just mess up with your setup just a little bit, so you have to understand the different variables and the different ways and tricks that the market can use to go against you and your strategy. So it's gonna use fear on a daily basis to keep you out of the trades that you need to be taking, right? So first thing is fear. We also mentioned greed. Greed is a big one, because with greed, what typically happens is when we first start trading, I used to trade small account size. I used to trade about $500. So every trade, I used to risk around, just roughly like, $10. $10, not such a big risk, right? But I wanted to make more. And this need to make more from $10 to quickly jump to $50, it's a big jump, right? But because we want to make more money, we want to grow this $500 quite quickly to $1,000. So we can really start to see the gains from trading, right? Oh, well, even more than $1,000. We're talking about at least $5,000 to have in a trading account. So you can really start trading with good risk management and start making a little bit of decent money, right? So our goal is always to get to some good milestones as fast as possible. But what ends up happening is that gives us -50, -10, and we start to see more reds on our MetaTrader or C-Trade or whatever. It's because we're being greedy. We're not focusing on what we need to focus on, which is the skill. Because trust me, when you get to a point where you're operating from a skill mindset, everything else that comes right after that is just going to be a byproduct, right? So people who actually make a lot of money, they never chase the money. The money, you should never think about the money. The money is gonna come on its own. It's gonna work itself out. Just the same way as I say, in any trade, winning a trade is the easy part. Losing a trade is the hard part, So whenever you're gonna take a trade, you should be more fearful of your psychology when you're losing, not when you're winning. Let the wins take care of themselves. Let that be a byproduct of the skill and the hard work you're putting in. But be very cautious about the way you're experiencing things like greed, experiencing things like losses, because one loss can feel so much worse than, 10 wins can feel good. 10 wins, whatever. We take one loss after a 10 win streak, man, the world is ending, right? So we have to control our greed and really focus and pay more attention to the skill. Now, the last point we're gonna look at here is going to be on impatience. Impatience, this is quite simple. Just don't rush the process. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. If you're making $10 today, if you're making any sort of progress, psychological progress, your playbook is improving every day, you're writing something new, you're getting that 1% better each day, man, that's the best feeling right there. Because they say Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So your trading career is not going to be built in a day either. But you're going to take a lot of good feeling from taking just one step per day, right? That's all that you need, just one step a day. So if today you overtraded, that's a challenge for you tomorrow, so you're not going to overtrade, right? If you didn't manage your risk properly, that's a beautiful opportunity for you to learn how to manage your risk. And it's all about character development, right? So we got to fall in love with the process, because when you master your emotions, you essentially master the market. So let's go over into the next point over here, which is going to be on sticking to your plan. Now, a lot of us need a playbook, right? A lot of us need a plan, because if we show up to the chart with no plan, we're planning to fail, right? That's a bar right there. So plan is stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. So remember, we have rules for a reason. Some of us don't really like rules. You know, since we're kids, we don't really like rules. Because when we have rules to follow, we kind of want to break the rules, right? That's always kind of what's going through our head. We just want to break the rule because it feels good to break a rule. It doesn't feel good to follow a rule, because when you take a winning trade and it's a disciplined trade, it always feels like, okay, you know, awesome, but it would feel a lot better if I got lucky on this, right? And a strategy is only as good as your discipline is to follow it. So it doesn't matter how good your plan is, how good your playbook is. If you're not following your rules, essentially it's useless, right? And the problem with not following your rules is you're just proving to your subconscious that you can't trust yourself. And if you keep proving to your subconscious you can't trust yourself, that's a really bad habit that you set for yourself, because the way the human psychology works is if we don't follow the rules that we set for ourselves, it's going to become a habit intrinsically, and we might be doing it even without knowing, but we'll always be seeking to self-sabotage. Because self-sabotage, if you think about a lot of things in life, you know, self-sabotage is the easy route out. You know, not eating healthy, doing things which are not good for us. It's usually the easy way out. But being disciplined, going to the gym, following your rules on a day-to-day basis, that's the stuff that helps you grow. But that's the stuff that takes discipline. And that's the stuff that majority people, they don't want to do, right? Because they're still stuck in the realm of fear, greed, impatience, and just, you know, going with the flow and just hoping to get lucky, because being lucky feels great. But remember, your plan protects you when the market actually becomes a little bit chaotic, right? That's the thing that keeps your P&L at the end of the month in positive, in the blues. I can tell you the amount of times that I broke my rules, most of the time there was a higher probability that I would lose that trade. So I think at the end of the day, following your rules is always the best thing. You're not going to be perfect, but at every month you want to have at least a 90% psychology of following your rules. Yeah, you're only human at the end of the day, so you might break a few rules here and there, but the important thing is being able to catch yourself when you are breaking your rules, so you don't tumble out of control. Because it's very easy to have one loss. Okay, fine, whatever, we broke a rule. Second loss, we're like, okay, you know, it's starting to get a bit weird now. You know, third loss, and we're like, oh damn, a third loss? Now this is getting really emotional over here. Because when you see 3 back-to-back losses, that's a hat trick. You know, that's a hat trick on your account. So you don't want to have hat tricks on your account, because it's very easy at this point to tilt. And when you tilt, it's much likely that you're going to do some dumb shit. So we got to avoid that in the beginning. So the moment you see 2 losses, for example, don't forget about those losses. Don't play the victim about those losses. You have to review these losses. That's the most self-sabotaging thing you can do, is blame the market. You got to take a step back and see, was I following my plan? And if you're following your plan, awesome. Just keep applying, and the only thing that can change maybe, and if you know it's a profitable system, is your risk. Maybe reduce your risk, right? Reduce your risk because maybe markets might be a bit chaotic. Maybe they're not being friendly with your strategy or your edge. So reduce your risk. That's personally what I did. I think it was about a week or 2 ago. I had about two or three losses, but I started reducing my risk on my 3rd loss, and then really taking it cautiously until the market started opening up again. And you know, right now we're the 2nd week of December, I'm up 10%, and it all just comes down to taking it slow, being patient, sticking to your plan, right? So 3rd one we want to cover over here is be patient. be patient, be patient, be patient. Because most winning trades, they actually come from you waiting and not chasing the market. I would say you're like a magnet. Think of yourself like a magnet. Let the market come to you. Don't chase money, because you know what they say. If you chase money, money is going to run away from you. So you have to find a way to actually attract the money and become the person that you need to be, that money is going to be attracted to. And once you start efficiently doing that, the market will end up paying you, right? It doesn't pay the busy people. Just like in golf, Tiger Woods doesn't get paid to play golf. He gets paid to play as less golf as possible, because that shows skill, right? And in trading, if you can actually take less trades but more efficient trades, especially on a day-to-day basis, then it's showing skill, right? It's showing that you have the ability to pull something out of the market. Because think about this for a second, right? The market every day trades trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. Imagine if that was a river of money flowing. And your job is just to come and sit on the sideline here with your fishing rod and just pull out, you know, whatever it is you're pulling out. Let's just say 2%. So every day, all you gotta do is put your fishing rod in there and pull out only 2% of whatever that's gonna be in a $1 trillion traded market, correct? It sounds ridiculously easy, but this is where people fail. They underestimate the importance of being patient. When you look at something like fishing, it's called fishing, not catching, right? It's called trading, but we're not actually supposed to be trading. So that's a bar right there. It's called fishing, not catching. So you have to be okay with being patient, right? That's how you get the fish. The fish come to you. The fish are going to be attracted to your patience. They're going to be sitting there and looking at this one rod. It's going to be thinking, okay, you know, this is a pretty interesting bait over here. I see it's just been hanging around, being patient, not really being anxious. And then the fish is naturally attracted to that thing because it feels like it deserves like some kind of attention, right? But if you got a guy who's fishing and is constantly moving the fishing rod around, he's gonna have a much harder time to actually reel one in, because the fish gonna be like, what's this guy doing over here? You know, what is this thing? That thing's a bit weird. So just the same way as we see it in nature, the river of money flows the same exact way. We have to be willing to sit on the sidelines and be patient to wait for our trades. And if our trades don't show up, then that's okay. We don't have to trade that day, because the person who wants it the most loses. Remember that. That's an important business deal right there, because if you go to a business meeting and the person who wants it the most is gonna lose, and first of all, nobody leaves a negotiation happy. So if you're gonna be the one who's most patient in any negotiation, you're gonna have the upper hand, right? So if somebody wants to sell you something, let's say you're on a holiday, and somebody wants to sell you something at 10x the price, which is most of the time what people are doing. If you're a tourist and you're on the street, they're trying to like 7x you. You know, just know that and be okay with going as low as you possibly can. Divide that number by 5 or whatever you have to do, but the one who doesn't want it the most is gonna get the better deal. So just the way in trading as well, get your better deal. Get close to your better deal as possible. So patience removes things like, you know, FOMO. It forces you to get better entries as well. So that's pretty much what we covered here with patience. The next thing we're gonna look at is manage your risk. All right, so we're gonna go manage risk. This goes without saying. If you can't manage your risk, then, and if you can't protect your capital, the number one rule in trading is actually protect your capital, right? The number one rule in trading is don't lose the capital, right? So if you lose your capital, basically that's it. You can't trade. You have no more bullets left in your gun anymore, right? So managing your risk goes without saying. If you keep your risk small enough, that way you're gonna be actually able to maintain a good P&L. Because let's say if you're risking around a 2% per trade, for most people that's okay, right? 3%, it's getting a little bit on the higher ends at this point. But this is the ultimate risk that you can go up. Don't go anything beyond 5%, because I know a lot of the time, you know, we're trading a small account, we want to grow that small account. Nothing above 5% is a good idea, right? Because that actually starts to accumulate quite quickly, especially if you hit a hat trick. If you hit a hat trick, then those numbers are going to look really terrible. So 5%, I think it's just enough to help you scale that account to get to certain milestones. It's like buying a house, for example. You know, if you're going to buy a house, you want to give yourself 5 years. Typically like 5 years, buying a house is actually like a 5-year goal. You should give yourself like 5 years and work towards buying that house within a time span of 5 years, correct? So when you're doing that, you can have certain ways that you can really scale your growth, especially if you got a good income. Those types of solutions are not the greatest for the long term. You're not doing that for 20 years, right? It's not a steady way to grow an account, but it's good for the short term. So 5% is maximum amount of risk allocation you want to give any sort of trading account. Anything beyond that is going to force a lot of emotional strain on your trading. And you know, for me personally, I never increase my risk. So currently I'm making around $1,000 a day. Like that's my goal, $1,000. Now I could increase this goal based off my performance, but the problem with increasing this to, let's say, $5,000 is because when I start losing a lot, right, this is gonna accumulate quite a lot and it's gonna affect my psychology. So you wanna find a sweet spot with your risk management where you're not risking too much that you care, but you're not risking too little that you don't care. You need to find that sweet middle ground where you're satisfied and it's enough to keep you motivated to keep trading. So figure out what that number is for yourself and stick with that number. It's going to be very tempting to increase it because you're going to be falling back to our old habits, impatience, right? But remember, you get paid to wait. Take it step by step each day, and only if you can prove to yourself that you're doing well consistently, then you can start to increase your risk a little bit more, right? So if your account is growing, that 5% you're risking is not going to be the same 5%, because let's say if you start with $100 and you manage to scale the account to $500, now you can start risking 5% of $500 because now that's your milestone. And if you start to lose again, and let's say you go back down to $300, then you have to go back to 5% of $100 because it means you're not performing well, right? So this is how you're going to survive when it comes to scaling an account. Awesome. So next thing I want to talk about here is going to be a very, very important one. Important rule that a lot of the time, a lot of us seem to be forgetting, right? This is called thinking in probabilities. So we got think in probabilities. Because if you're gonna take a trade, remember, each trade has a probability of that trade becoming a winning trade or a losing trade. That's all that is to it. It doesn't mean that you took a bad position. All it means is that it was just a probability of that trade becoming a winning trade as opposed to that trade becoming losing trade, for example, right? So don't judge yourself by one trade, basically. Judge yourself by 1,000 trades. You want to be able to have a good sample size where one trade, one bad trade or one good trade is not going to make you emotionally feel a certain way, right? Because being stoic in the market and in life is the key. That's the goal. Be stoic. Don't worry about your emotions. Think in probabilities. Hey, the more I do this certain thing, the higher the probability that I'm going to get that certain thing. As well as like if you're looking for a job, for example, right? What do we do when we look for jobs? We put in 100 applications, 200 applications. You know, this guy has a higher probability of finding a job than the guy who does 10 applications and then just waits for something to happen. The universe is not going to give you anything if you're just not, first of all, putting in the work, and second of all, if you're not thinking in probabilities. Because the more you put yourself in areas to get splashed, the more you're going to get splashed. So think about trading that same way, right? If you have a profitable system, a profitable plan, think in terms of probabilities. In a year, how will my success look like, right? Forget about the daily results. You know, start thinking about it in months, and from months into the whole year, basically. That's how you remain stoic, that's how you remain disciplined, and that's how you don't let bad days actually affect you. So I hope these points over here are gonna help you. And you know, it's a good reminder to take into our day, into our trading day, because you know, we can easily forget some of these things and we have to put ourselves back on track sometimes, especially if we're finding ourselves tilt. And if you're currently tilting right now, then this video found you right on time. And you know, hopefully it's gonna help you out, and I will see you in the next one.